Samsung and Google's relationship go way back, and it is one of the very reasons, along with Samsung, as to why Android is the force that it is today. Obviously, Samsung is the biggest seller of Android devices, which is why Android is so popular. Now, thanks to Samsung and Google's relationship, Google is the default for many of apps and services on many of Samsung's devices. So what is Samsung doing now? They are looking to get away from Google as their default search engine and go with somebody else. So in this video, we're going to take a look at who Samsung is pitching to get as their default search engine instead of Google. But before we dive deep into all the information, if you're new to this channel and enjoy staying up to date with the latest tech news, you landed at the right place. Do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. All right, let's take a look at this. So Samsung's Galaxy S26 could mark the start of a breakup with Google. Now, this is an article out of PhoneArena.com. Samsung is reportedly considering to partner with AI startup Perplexity with plans to preload the company's services on future Galaxy devices, starting as early as the Galaxy S26 series. According to a report from Bloomberg, the deal would include pre-installing the Perplexity app and assistant across Galaxy phones, while also bringing its AI-powered search technology to Samsung's internet browser. Additionally, Perplexity could be integrated into Bixby, potentially helping Samsung's voice assistant stay relevant in the age of generative AI. So if you had Samsung devices, you probably use Bixby. I used Bixby when it first came out. Haven't used it pretty much since then. It may have gotten better at this point, but it definitely is not or wasn't an AI device that did me any good. Now, it may have gotten any better. Even as bad as Siri is, or outdated as Siri is, Bixby was behind Siri. So that lets you know probably what to say that Bixby is. So hopefully with this relationship, and if this deal goes through, Perplexity will give Bixby the much needed boost that it needs. So you ask the question, who is or what is Perplexity AI? So Perplexity AI is a AI-driven search engine. So not unlike what you use with Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, or whatever your search engine is. The key difference with this is that instead of just taking your plain search and just giving you a list of web pages, what Perplexity does is it actually solves your query. So if you're looking for, say, a recipe for dinner or some ideas or whatever, instead of getting a list of web pages that you have to scroll through, click, read, scan, skim, trying to find what you're looking for, it actually just gives you that answer just like, you know, ChatGPT or Grok would do with that. So what you see here, so I just did a simple query. Why are Samsung and Perplexity making a deal? And it gives me an answer right away, so I will have to actually dig into web pages. And it still does give you the list of all the sources that it pulled from. You can actually just go through them if you want to, but the key thing is giving me the answers right there, saving me much needed time of going through the different links and trying to figure out what information I'm actually looking for. So that is actually a really big difference between Perplexity and all the other search engines out there, that it just gives you the answer right away. So that is what Samsung is looking to add to their devices. Continuing on here. So what might Samsung be planning? Samsung could ship Perplexity's app and assistant preloaded on Galaxy phones while integrating its search engine directly into Samsung Internet and embedding some of its technology straight into Bixby. Samsung wants to make Perplexity the default assistant option on the Galaxy S26 series. Now, that's a huge thing right now, because again, like I said, Google pretty much is the default search engine, default for pretty much all the services. Now it looks like Samsung is like, you know what, Google, we want to step away from you for a little bit and we want to go with this right here, go with somebody else. And obviously, I don't think Google's going to like that. Now, this isn't the first time that Samsung has further with the idea of moving away from Google. They further with Bing making it its default engine back in 2023, and then that obviously sent Google into a panic mode. Now, the relationship between Samsung and Google was very lucrative for Samsung. As you take a look here, Google paid Samsung billions for Play Store and search monopoly, and this is information that was gleaned from the Epic trial. Google apparently paid Samsung $8 billion over 4 years to keep search, assistant, and Play Store as the default services on its phone. So very lucrative deal for Samsung. And again, Google's the far edge here. So $26 billion. This is what in 2021 that Google's paid out to be the default search engine. So being that default pays very well, but it also keeps Google at its monopoly. Now, Google's monopoly, well, they own over 90%, but actually, as of the last quarter of 2024, that actually dipped below 90% for the first time in like 10 years. So that crack in Google search, maybe just a little bit, as they're not having that over 90%. But again, they're still the dominant force in there. But this is something that is a preview of actually what is going on in the whole AI on device landscape. As we see here, got a lot of different distribution things that are going on. You see here, you have OpenAI. They've teamed up with Apple to bring that to the device. You got Gemini also on Google devices and Samsung. XAI right now is just on X. Llama, obviously, or Llama is on Meta devices. And with this deal finishes through, Perplexity will be added to Samsung. And actually right now they are with Motorola. So Samsung is the first smartphone brand to embrace Perplexity out of the box. The title belongs to Motorola, which recently shipped the 2025 Razr series with no fewer than 4 AI assistants on there. So they pretty much have them all on there and just throw them all on there. So this is a very interesting choice and decision for Samsung. And you got to figure out, so what are the benefits for each of the two companies? So for Samsung, obviously they want to reduce their reliance on Google. So, and that's a key factor, because we see Google going through trust case right now, and in the future they may have to split the country, their company. I don't think that's going to happen, but in the event that it does, this gives Samsung something to fall back on. Because what if Google has to sell off certain parts of his business? You know, maybe they sell the Google Chrome, they may have to sell searches. I don't know what that is, if it even happens, but this just gives Samsung just another option. So just in case it happens, so that's actually good for Samsung. Also, obviously enhances device AI capabilities. So by integrating that into its search and into Bixby, making that better, and to keep up with what Google is doing with their devices. Make their devices a little bit different from everybody else, and also invest in obviously leading AI tech. So what is it in this for Perplexity? Obviously more exposure. Now, even though the search engine is really good, it's still not as popular as, say, obviously Google, or even other AI agents like ChatGPT or Grok or Claude or whatever. It's just not there. So this is going to give them more exposure. They obviously want to compete with Google and AI, and obviously gain massive user distribution. Again, get this in the hands of many more people, so people can actually see the benefit of an AI search engine. So this is a good deal for both of them, and there are good benefits for each of them. So definitely looking forward to hearing more information about this deal. I want to know what the financials are around this. Now, is Samsung paying Perplexity, or Perplexity paying Samsung? Because we know Perplexity is also making the rounds to try to raise about, what, $14 billion in valuation money right now. So they're trying to expand as well. So very interesting. But let me know what you guys think about this. Are you interested in Perplexity? Have you ever used Perplexity as a search engine? If you have, let me know what your experiences are with it down in the comment section down below. Once again, thank you for taking time out to watch this video. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date with the latest tech news, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit that like button if you enjoy this. And chances are, if you enjoy this type of content, you may have friends or family that enjoy this, so make sure you share this with them. Also, if you want to stay up to date with the latest tech news, head over to sound30.com, where I curate and aggregate tech news from around the web, covering Apple, Samsung, Google, Android, computing, and even more general tech news, all at the website sound30.com. And for even more tech news in video form, check out one of these 2 videos right here. Until next video, guys, stay nerdy.